Pretty good title. Okay? Now, the idea here with a histogram is we hope for a bell curve, which is symmetric. Does that look like a bell curve to you?
No.
I can. This one I can. This one you're supposed to do. Okay? So I'm going to erase it. I'm going to highlight this whole thing. Okay? You got yours highlighted? You're going to press insert. You're going to press bar graph, 2D bar, 2D column graph. Okay? So you got a bar graph now. Then you're going to go to quick layout and you're going to click on this. Okay? Then you're going to slide it out of the way so you can see what you're doing. You're going to change this to age groups. You're going to change this to number of students.
I'll turn that way.
And this is going to be math 1040 or whatever. Okay? All right. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about, so if we're going to hope for a bell curve, did we get a bell curve?
No.
No, it's not a bell curve. And in fact, well, kind of interesting that we got a big gap here. Wonder where all those people are. You scared them away? So here's typically what you're going to see. You're going to see something that looks like this. You're going to see something that looks like this. Or in our case, you're going to see this. Okay, that's your symmetric. And in our case, we've got something that looks like this. Okay? All right, if you see a curve that looks like this, okay, basically what you're trying to do is you're going to take, where's the high point on your graph? Okay? Is the right side a bigger tail or the left side a bigger tail?
The right side.
The right side is bigger, right? There's more area here. So this is what we would say is right skewed. This one would be left skewed. Okay? Now, this one we've got three different humps here, right? Okay? We would actually call this trimodal, or bimodal, or multimodal. Okay? So those are the three types of graphs you're kind of looking at. Okay? So, does that make sense? Okay, so I know I spend a lot of time talking about skew. Remember, line graphs are not skewed. They'll have an increasing trend, they'll have a decreasing trend. You know, maybe you'll have a line graph that looks like that. You've got a peak at 1998, and then it goes back down, or something like that. Okay, so just make sure when I ask you to comment on these graphs that you're using the appropriate terminology for the right graph. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so now we can go back to this shoe size. Okay, I didn't like this one because I don't normally like. Well, we'll do it again, but okay, never mind. I'm not going to do that. We're going to continue on with this. We could do that with the shoe size too, but I knew it wasn't going to look. It wasn't going to be grouped nicely because it's too close together. Okay, let's talk a little bit about relative frequency distribution. Okay, so I'm going to erase this for a second. The frequency distribution is to count the relative frequency distribution. You can think of as the percent. Okay. So in this case, how do I figure out the percent of people that are aged 17 to 19 in the class?
Six people, and you're going to find out a lot of people in the class.
Yeah, we need to find out how many is the total people in the class, okay? So if I do my total down here, now I did tell you the Greek letter sigma, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we've got a sigma button on here, okay? So if I click on this auto sum button right up here,
Come on.
okay, because I put that at the bottom, it's gonna guess and it's gonna say, hey, do you want me to add up all those numbers? And it puts this little Las Vegas light show thing. So, I say yes, we've got 29 people in the class today, okay? Now, did I talk about relative and absolute references last time? I think I did.
Yeah.
Okay? So in this case, I want to do 6 divided by 29. Now, does one of those have to be relative and one of those have to be absolute? Yes, which one's which?
The 6 is relative and the 29 is absolute.
Okay, so how do I make it absolute?
F4.
Press the F4 key. Okay, that puts dollar signs in there. That means I'm always going to divide by this cell, but the first cell, when I copy it, H4 is going to change. Okay, so H4 is a relative reference, H18 is an absolute reference. Okay? Now, I'm going to copy that down. I could actually make those percentages, right? Okay? So almost 21% of the class are ages 17 to 19. Okay? What should it add up to, do you think? It should add up to 100%. Let's see what it does. How about that? Okay? All right, so that's what we call a relative frequency distribution. Now, if I wanted to do, instead of this is a frequency distribution histogram, I could do a relative frequency histogram. Here's how I do it. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to hold the control key down, or if you have a Mac, it's the command key, same thing. And I'm going to highlight the relative frequency distribution. I'm going to say insert. I'm going to click on this 2D column. I'm going to slide it over here. I'm going to do my quick layout. I'm going to make the bars touch. You'll notice, okay, I should label that properly, although it does have percents here. Percent. These are age groups. And this is math 1040. Okay, you'll notice that the shape of those graphs are pretty much identical. Okay? Main difference is I've changed my scale to be percentages instead of raw numbers. Okay? So that's a relative frequency histogram. That's a frequency histogram. Okay? Now we're going to do what's called a cumulative frequency distribution. Okay? Now the cumulative frequency distribution adds everything above. Okay? So basically the first one here is going to be 6. 6 people aged 19 and younger in this class, we've got 6 of them. So that first cell is going to be exactly the same. The second one, I'm going to take the 15 and I'm going to add the 6, and I'm going to get 21. Okay? Now, at this point, I can copy this formula down. The last cell should be 100%. So I've got 25 students who are 25 and younger. Got 29 students who are 58 and younger. Okay? Okay? So what I do is I take the 15 over in this column and I add it to this. Okay? So you make sure you're adding the right columns. But at the bottom here, then I can double click this little thing, it'll copy it down. Got 29 people in my class. So that 29 matches all of that. Now, what do you think a cumulative relative frequency distribution is? The same thing, but we're using percents, right? So this first one is just going to be 20.7%. I'm going to take this 51 plus that 20. It's going to give me 72. I add it down. I should get 100%. Okay, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so once again, what are the differences between a bar graph and a histogram?
Histogram touches, ours touch.
Bars touch.
It's always low to high.
Always low to high. It's numerical categories. Okay, we're converting these to numerical categories. Now, it may be tempting to say, oh, I'm going to just go up to, what here? Up to age 31, and then I'm going to say greater than 31. Be careful, because you might, well, what if I did that? It would look funny. In fact, let me just do this really quick. Let me copy this here, and then I'm going to say 32 plus. Now, to do my histogram, if I do this, insert bar, 2D bar, make the bars touch. Okay? What do you think of that? This one doesn't look nearly as skewed as the other one, does it? You can't really tell that's an outlier because you collapsed 32 to 55, right? So that can be a problem there. Now, let me show you another mistake that people make. Okay? But none of you, because you're here, are going to make this mistake, right? You get so excited about making the bars touch that you forget to group your data yourself. I'm going to give you raw data like this, and you're going to go insert, and you're going to go to bar graph, and you're going to go 2D bar, and then you're going to quick layout, you're going to make the bars touch, and I'm going to tell you that's not a histogram, even if it was properly labeled. Okay? If this was a histogram, what would you say? Which way is it? Is it symmetric?
Mm-mm.
It will never be symmetric, because why?
Because the
You
data's not
sorted your
grouped.
data.
Mm-hmm.
So you've sorted your data, which you need to do, but you don't want to do it here. Some of you don't sort it. We need to leave. It's time to go. Okay, we'll finish this upstairs.